Welcome to the Deuce Cast Extra. We are here. There wasn't any shows for us to talk about, but we didn't want to miss a week. We just did not want to miss a week. And so we are here, of course, to talk about DC Fandome, which was a big event, an exciting event. The first year, which was last year during the pandemic, out of necessity, they did this. I thought it was a fun thing. This one felt really long. Like it just felt long.
It did.
I didn't. I purposely took breaks, because some of the stuff I don't keep up with the comic book news, so I didn't really have. I half paid attention to the comic book stuff. I don't play video games, so I half paid attention to the video game news, but I don't know. I thought it was good. And yes, Garrison has his voice back. Thank you for asking, Roth.
It's kind of in and out, but yeah,
it's in and out.
Getting over a cold, so
he's coming back strong. As always, I am DC Mike Dome here to talk about this. We've got the Court of Earls, which that is a reference to the Court of Owls, of course.
Yes.
Which is a very fun part of Batman lore, in my opinion. I like the concept that the Court of Owls has always been around, moving pieces and stuff like that.
Same with the Court of Earls.
Yeah, same with the Court of Earls. And then, of course, we've got Wally West fan.
Yes.
Very specifically, Wally West fan Garrison. What's going on, Garrison?
I'm doing fantastic. All this Wally West news we got at DC Fandome.
A big zero. Wally West news.
I think he's in the Young Justice show, but that's about it. So.
Oh well, there you go. That's something at least, I guess. And then of course, because we are talking comics, I wanted to bring Stan from Kingdom Comics and Kingdom Casts back. What's up, Stan? How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you, Mike?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us again. We needed your expertise of this event. I guess real quick before we dive into all the news, let's do roundtable. Earl, what was like your favorite moment or favorite trailer in general of the Fandome?
Well, I think we're going to break it down, right?
We are. I mean, but just what's your favorite? What'd you like the best?
Okay, how deep should I go at this point? I'm just going to say the Batman.
Okay, so you like out of all of them, you were most absolutely. In tune with that one. Okay,
blew them way far away than the rest. So.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Garrison, what about you?
I liked the gold boots announcement for the Flash TV show.
I am ready for the gold boots. Let's let the Flash run, baby.
I stopped watching that show in like season 5, but I love that. I love the costume. I really think it's better than the DCEU costume, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But
by far,
yeah.
And then Stan, what was one piece of news that was, and it doesn't have to be TV or movie. If you had a piece of comic book news you were interested in, what did you actually like?
Don't worry, they didn't have a piece of comic book news that interests me. Look, this is kind of rough, but I'm going to say just barely Black Adam over League of Super Pets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Black Adam looks great. So
interesting.
It'll be good.
Well, what I wanted to do, because we mostly talk about television on the Deucecast Extra, I did want to sort of discuss some of the TV news and just sort of go down a list of interesting things to me. A show that I watch, and I know Earl watches, is Titans, and very excited to hear that HBO Max is going to give them a season 4. It's a good show. I enjoy it for what it is.
It has moments.
It has its moments. Look, not everything. Hey, I'll say this: it's better than CW quality. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you don't agree? You don't agree?
I think the first
or it is at CW.
The first few seasons of Flash, I think, are actually really, really good.
You're right.
But most of CW stuff is
and Arrow.
Yeah,
the first 2 seasons of Arrow are solid.
Yeah, Flash was really good up until every time he ran, the universe changed.
Yeah, right. And then continuing to do that was
yeah. And then a show that is completely off the rails that I can't believe is getting a 4th season is Doom Patrol, another HBO Max show. And a lot of these shows started on the DC Universe streaming service, which people cried out as if a relative died when that thing went away. Just because there was a lot more intertwined into that service than just the TV shows and stuff. There was comic stuff intertwined and a lot of the animated stuff. And those that loved DC Universe do not love the fact that HBO Max has kind of taken over and it's not really as good.
Still around.
Is it still around?
I think it's more of a comic thing now.
Oh, it's just basically for comics only.
Yeah.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Which is
Really?
look, Marvel's got Marvel Unlimited. DC needs their answer to that, and I think that's what they're trying to make that.
That's true. That's true. Does anybody besides me watch Doom Patrol?
I have watched it.
You have watched it.
Yeah, I think I've got through. I think I almost did the entire first season.
Yeah. I just love. First of all, it's characters that I have no clue about, other than of course Cyborg, which I find it very interesting that he is in this show and not Titans. Because in the
he was a Titan originally, right?
Well, yeah, in the animated series that my kids watch, the Teen Titans, he's like a main character in that, and then he was in the animated Titan series. And so it's strange that he's not in that show, but I think they're utilizing him in a fun way in Doom Patrol, which, like I said, is completely off the rails. Some of the newer shows that they mentioned, which Stan, you'll have to help, I think, all of us out with DMZ. It's going to be on HBO Max. I like the cast. I like Rosario Dawson. I like Benjamin Bratt, but I don't know anything about that series other than it takes place in the future, a second Civil War type thing.
The honest God answer here, and we avoid politics, but this is how it's played out. DMZ was a comic book reaction to George W. Bush's presidency.
Oh,
it came out. Basically, America is divided up into a few demilitarized zones. Them versus us, political ideology, that sort of thing. So it's a post-split. It's a post-split America.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think in the promo they said it takes place 8 years after the second Civil War, or something like that. So it makes sense that Ava DuVernay is involved. Then, I mean, it
was a good book.
Oh, okay.
Like Why the Last Man. Why the Last Man got one season. Now it's gone.
I'm wondering if it'll be saved. They're shopping it. I'm hoping it'll be saved because although this most recent episode was really boring, for the most part, I'm enjoying the show. But it's a little bit different, I think, than the book. So Ava DuVernay is involved in 2 different shows. Now, the second show that she's involved in is going to be much more closely aligned with the CW shows. Yeah. And that is Naomi. Yep. That's Brian Michael Bendis. Apparently
2019 comic book character.
Yep.
Okay, so like brand new almost, basically comic book character. Naomi, sorry.
Yeah, DC basically hired him to try to create somebody like a Miles Morales or any of the other characters he created, and Naomi was the first best offering so far.
So, not to spoil anything, I guess, but what is her superpower?
Well, I've read her in about 40 comics, and I'm not sure.
Okay.
Maybe she doesn't have one.
She has like a camera, right?
She's a photographer. No, she has a superpower. I mean,
she's a member of the Justice League, and I've been reading those, and I still
she's got some type of superpower because that is sort of hinted on in the little clip.
I started to say lightning, but it's listed his energy discharge. Naomi has a tremendous amount of unknown type of energy inside her body. She can fire powerful energy blasts from her hands. This energy makes her super strong and super durable and allows her to fly. Yeah.
Wow, sounds like Captain Marvel.
Did start to say lightning, and I thought that's not it. That's not it.
It does sound like Captain Marvel.
Which Captain Marvel, Earl?
Yeah, Marvel or exactly. That's always
DC or Marvel.
Marvel.
So before we jump into the show that I'm most looking forward to, was there any TV shows that they mentioned that you guys wanted to mention stuff about?
I'm
Well, we
impressed how
joked around
hard
and said Flash is coming back for obviously season 8.
8. Yep.
Yep.
They said Pennyworth was moving to HBO Max. I have not watched a second of that show, but
Right. And
that was interesting.
I thought that was interesting, and I think I might try and binge that and catch up because I think they announced that they're going to put the first 2 seasons on HBO Max in preparation for the 3rd season.
Oh, so where is it right now? I don't even know.
It was on Epix. The first 2 seasons was on Epix, which I did not even know they did original series at Epix. So good for them. I think everybody probably does. I mean, if Chicken Soup for the Soul has original series, I guess Epix can too. Was there any of the animated series that you guys watched that they announced stuff for?
They
I
did
mean,
the
there's a
Young
movie.
Justice.
Well, we're not to animated movies, are we?
No, they announced more Titans coming though. I know that.
More
Did
Teen
they announce
Titans
what
or
the next?
Titans?
I know they announced the Catwoman. The
Oh, okay.
anime Catwoman.
That's right. They announced a Teen Titans Go movie. That's what.
Yeah,
you're
Teen Titans Go. Yeah, they announced that. I mean, because
Yeah,
those
they did
little
a Young
movies.
Justice thing as well.
Fedmatic says there's a Young Justice.
Young Justice. That's what I meant. Sorry, Fetmatic.
Young Justice Phantoms.
Yeah,
which is what it's called.
And Red said there's a cricket show coming.
Cricket. I'm not familiar.
I'm
Is that a
just
new?
kidding. He's just
Is that a new character? Is that a new
He
character?
means
Stan? I
ambush
didn't.
bug.
He means. Oh, you know what he means? The Blue Beetle. That's what he means because there is a Blue Beetle HBO Max movie coming. So that's obviously what he's talking about.
I think he's calling us out for dead air.
No,
that's
his MO. He's just jealous that he doesn't have his own show.
Blue Beetle's a part of those HBO Max movies they're trying to start getting into production with. That and Batgirl as well. Yeah. That's kind of the new thing. They're going to be low. I think they're going to be lower budgeted, obviously, because they're HBO Max originals, but they're still going to be high budgets.
They didn't say a word about the Green Lantern Corps. And
Well, no. Okay, let's talk about that later. Let's talk about all the stuff that they didn't mention later. Yeah, let's talk about all that later. So let's jump into Peacemaker. The trailer was perfect. That trailer was perfect. I actually enjoyed that trailer more than the Batman trailer. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds crazy, but
Michael, that is crazy.
I'm a John Cena mark, so I thought it was because it felt tonally exactly like the Suicide Squad.
It did. And I got to tell you, I hated the trailers for the Suicide Squad. I loved the movie, The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But I hated the trailers, and I didn't care for this trailer either. So I'm just going to wait for the show at this point because clearly the trailers just don't work for me. I don't know what it is.
I loved it. I'm glad we're getting a couple of the characters other than Peacemaker that were in the film going to be in the show also.
Vigilante.
And new ones, Vigilante, yeah.
Vigilante is going to be cool.
I mean, if this was 1984, the internet would be bubbling up.
Well, hey, nostalgia works. I mean, this is what the people want.
So is Peacemaker really popular as a comic, Stan? Or
no,
I didn't think so.
No.
Look, you know him because the comedian in Watchmen. That's the same character. That's the character Alan Moore was told that he can't use the Charleston characters for Watchmen.
Yeah,
he said, "Fine."
Like the
Peacemaker
Question
is the comedian.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's how you know him. And he's shown up, and he's always in the background of this or that. He's not really. Cena has brought more attention to that character than that character's had since the 1940s when he first debuted.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, Peacemaker debuted in 1940s?
I'm going to say he debuted sometime around 1943, 44 in Charleston Comics, along with the Blue Beetle and the Question. Yeah.
Okay.
The Question.
Yeah, those are Watchmen. Rorschach's the Question. Blue Beetle is Night Owl. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I liked that in the panel. They very much hinted towards he was going to have character growth and a character arc in the show.
Yes.
Because in the movie, he was kind of just the same throughout, and just kind of the antagonist, sort of in a way.
Yeah, I'm still mad at him from the movie. Like I didn't like him
because he killed Rick Flag.
Well, spoiler alert! Hey, everybody out there!
It was on HBO Max. I mean, come on.
Okay, so Rhett wants to correct Stan. 1966.
66. I stand corrected. I apologize.
Yeah, the 40s that's early, but yeah, 66.
I just associate Charlton Comics with things that are long gone.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they really
Was Charlton
are. DC
Comics
bought-
still around at the 60s, I guess?
Well, obviously, if that's
yeah.
his first appearance.
Barely, probably.
Yeah.
Rhett. We don't have the luxury of defeated by Google. Exactly. We were defeated by Google. I'm not Googling things on the fly here.
We're getting comments from Red on the sidebar here,
Yeah.
so I'm sorry.
I'll be Googling from now on.
No, please don't. Peacemaker. So here's the one thing before we jump into the films. The one thing that I wonder if HBO and DC is going to have a problem with at some point is explaining what shows tie into each other. Because if they're going to have Titans, DMZ, which we know that won't tie into anything.
These are not going to tie in.
Mike,
yeah.
These shows aren't going to tie in. But
I know.
But say you want to do a Crisis,
Yeah.
then everything can tie in some way.
Yeah, we can't get a Superman off the ground, but we're running the word crisis out there to see how this does.
Yeah. Well, they did a TV version of Crisis. I would love to see it. Yeah, I know. We need to start small, but I know.
It would be nice.
We've already had a Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Yes.
They're trying to be.
Yes.
By doing this, by floating those balloons, those idea balloons out to the fans like that, they're really trying desperately to beat Marvel to what they think is the next goalpost, which is Secret Wars.
Secret Wars. Yep.
And the problem here is they don't need to worry about Marvel. They need to stop, not let anybody that works at Warner Brothers see another Marvel movie and create something with that, with the characters that created comic books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I mean, that's it. They need to look, they have a plethora of ideas and such. They don't have to follow in the mold of anybody else.
Well, we got to have Crisis, and then we got to have like a final crisis at the end, and then there's some other crises, and then
a lot of
wait. I need to show this to Stan because this may be the first and last time you ever see this, Stan. From Rhett. Stan is right. It's like breaking news. We'll never see Rhett say that ever again. So I just wanted to give that to you, Stan. I mean, the fact that they've got so many, and now they're adding Pennyworth as an HBO Max. Like they've got all these shows, like DC properties that are not intertwining at all. But maybe they're just trying to be the antithesis to the MCU. Then, I mean, in this case, because the MCU is all going to tie together with all their TV shows and movies. Maybe DC's just like, we want to be very different than them and have multiple series that don't tie into each other. That could be.
Roth had a point. Titans and Doom Patrol. There is a little bit of crossover.
Yeah,
there was.
First season.
There was a very small bit of crossover that they have.
And then they forgot about it.
They quickly went away from. Well, I mean, the crossover that they should have done is Cyborg jumps between the two shows, and they didn't go there for some reason. It's kind of strange. So jumping into all the movie news that we kind of got. out of this.
Here we go.
I mean, the biggest. I think, and we already knew it, but I think the confirmation from Patty Jenkins that there's going to be a Wonder Woman 3 and that she's involved in it, because that's the one thing that they're getting the team back together type attitude. You know, they're going to have Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot back together again. What I would assume would probably be the last that they work together. I don't think beyond the trilogy that Patty Jenkins, because she's got a movie in the stars to make after that. Well, I think she's making the Star Wars one first and then Wonder Woman 3, if I'm not mistaken, from a timeline standpoint.
I think that's how it lines up.
So whose body is Steve Rogers gonna inhabit?
I know, right?
Steve Rogers.
How are they going to get Chris Pine back in?
Chris Pine is going to be in another poor sap's body.
Is it awful that I never saw a problem with that until they pointed it out to me when we were recording the podcast?
Well, here's the stand. Here's my problem. Okay, the thing can grant wishes, and it literally spontaneously builds a wall. Why can it not just bring a person back from the dead and then have them disappear if you renounce the wish?
Right?
Yeah, why not?
Well,
it's magic.
Yeah. I'm not arguing that the movie was good. I just thought I just am, looking at my own morality. I never caught that until they said it to me.
Yeah.
So
By the way,
I'm hoping.
I said I misspoke. It's Steve Trevor, not
Yeah,
Steve.
I know.
You-
I said Steve Ross. Like,
you can't misspeak when you've got Rhett watching.
Rhett
If you
is here. He's our
misspeak,
editor.
he will point it out immediately because of his perfection. He
Now-
never gets anything wrong. So
let's not let Patty write this next film. That's all I'm
Yes.
going to say.
ooh,
She didn't write the first film, and I thought it was
Dang.
pretty solid. And she wrote the second film.
Sick burn. I don't know.
He needs
man.
more cheetah.
I think
Yeah.
that
Oh
she's.
God!
No,
Golly. So I'm taking it you guys didn't like 84. You guys not really.
I went to the theater to see it. I was like,
Well,
I'm
of
going to go
course,
see this.
Yeah. Why wouldn't
Christmas
we go?
night. No.
Did I watch it at home? Oh, I did watch it at home just because I was out of town. Maybe I think
saw
I
it at the
watched.
theater.
I think I watched it on my phone or something. I don't
It
know.
was just,
That's
yeah,
sacrilegious.
That is sacrilegious.
There was a lot of problems with it, like concrete slab banisters bouncing on the ground, and
Yeah, Michael actually gave it a positive review. On the
I
Deuce
did
Cast,
like
so,
it. I thought
so
it
don't
was
let him live
fun.
that down.
Michael's the only person who liked this movie.
I thought it was fun. I don't know. Sorry. I hope though that they bring this one into modern day. I hope that the third one is taking place in whatever the story that they're going to continue to try and tell, if they're going to in
I want
the
Zack
DC.
Snyder to let him.
No,
Right.
he's done.
No,
They're
thanks.
done with Zach.
No, we're done with Zach. Zach's gone.
I
He
think
had a great
Zach
Wonder
is
Woman,
done
though, in
too.
his
Zach-
Snyder cut.
I think Zach made his best film with Zack Snyder's Justice League, and we
Yes.
could just leave it at that.
Mhm.
The only
Yeah.
crossover I want to see at this point is I want to see Black Adam and Shazam, Levi, go at it.
Yeah, and they will. I think
Yeah.
that's a crossover we'll get. Yeah.
After Black Adam trashes Wonder Woman and Superman.
Wow.
Oh wow!
Dang. The other bit, and just real quick, only because it's a movie that I think that the whole family will enjoy, was DC League of Super Pets.
The
It
Rock.
looked fun. It looks fun. The animation looks fun.
Unfamiliar.
The Rock is
It's
Crypto.
Crypto and Ace.
Yeah, come on. What do you mean you're not familiar, Earl? It's Crypto and Ace.
We're talking
Yeah.
about a cartoon, right?
Oh, we are
Yeah.
talking about a cartoon. Yes,
just kidding.
it is.
I grew up with the Crypto the Superdog show, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
it
it.
used to show up in Filmation. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't go wrong with pairing Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart together.
I think you
can't
can go wrong, but I'm
No,
not gonna
Central
argue about
Intelligence
that.
was
No, you can go
fun.
wrong.
Central Intelligence was really fun. I think those two are good together. So since we're talking about Dwayne Johnson, Black Adam had a pretty long little 4-minute thing that they gave for Black Adam. I think they're hyped up for that movie.
Yeah,
the
Timothy
cast
Dalton was.
Yeah, the cast is no Pierce Brosnan.
Oh yes, sorry,
Wrong Bond. wrong James Bond.
my bad.
No, you're fine. He was hyped. He was like,
Yeah.
"This is I did
This is
James
bigger than
Bond
Bond."
for 10 years, and this is the best thing I've ever been a part of."
Yeah,
Yeah, he was pretty hyped. Who else was in that? They had Noah Centineo was Atom Smasher. So
I think a lot of the people were kind of lesser names.
yeah, well, Noah Centineo. The only reason I
Cyclone
know
or somebody.
the only reason I know his name is because he was supposed to be the live action He-Man. And that fell through, and so now he's going to be Atom Smasher, which I'm not real. Oh, Aldous Hodge.
Hodge is Carter.
Oh, Hawkman.
Hawkman. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And who is Cyclone?
Cyclone is.
A new actress, I think.
I may have said the name wrong. I don't know. It looked like a cyclone on the little logo.
That's her. That was her.
It is. That's Cyclone.
She's a new actress, though. I didn't recognize her. So I don't really know. I guess the villain is Dr. Fate then.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
He's the
he-
villain.
he's the
Black
teacher.
Adam is the villain.
His
Oh,
conflict
okay.
is
They're the
going to be-
Justice Society, I'm guessing, based on the.
They're the
members.
Justice Society, and they're going to fight Black Adam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
they're gonna
See,
go in
I don't
to
read
stop-
comics. I don't know anything about this stuff.
This is like from the Ten Commandments. Praise your God now, Moses. That's
Yeah.
what Black Adam is. He's
Ah.
a pharaoh. He's a ancient
Yes.
entity. He's an unstoppable force, and he's got all the power of Shazam. And he failed at being the protector at the wizard Shazam's hest.
Okay.
And now he's been trapped for all these thousands of years, and these grave robbers have set him free. And so, how he deals with the current political world and everything. This is
sounds like X-Men Apocalypse,
but better.
Yeah, probably better.
but with the Rock.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is when you put somebody. So I always think of Black Adam as a villain. Like Doomsday Clock was, he was the main villain in that.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen is because Rock's more popular than Zachary Levi, when you finally bring these two together, everybody's going to pull for Rock, Black Adam, because. So I don't like making somebody.
I'm pulling for Billy.
Huh?
I'm pulling for Billy.
Billy Baston.
I mean, I'm going to pull for Billy Batson, but I mean,
there's a lot to make Black Adam sympathetic to you.
Well, I understand that. They like to do that.
There is a ton of it. I hate to say this, but he's the DC Universe equivalent of Namor. Had his own country suffered great injustice, so on and so forth. Yeah.
Well, I mean, don't they eventually...
Well, that's fair. That's a fair point.
Don't they eventually utilize him as a hero at some point, though?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's a good guy. He's a bad guy. It's like whatever we need this week.
Whatever we need this
week. It's
like
Magneto. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I thought it's obviously going to be CG heavy, which I don't necessarily have an issue with, but it better be good. I mean, they better make it
look good. Looks fine.
Well, it looked okay.
They are not going to skimp on this. Not with Dwayne Johnson coming on the camera and saying God Himself has appointed me to play this role.
Right.
I mean, they will shove however much money it takes to get it done.
And they've been finished filming for a bit. It's releasing next July. They've got a lot of time to work on.
So it's all post at this point, which is good. I mean, they need that time to make that CG look good. I mean, if that's the majority of the movie.
Well, but I guess here's my thing with this sort of villain. Let's make movies about villains craze.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is if you're making a movie about a villain and you want him to be the hero, then you have to make up some other lame, no-name villain for that. Like I just watched Venom.
I don't know that he will be the hero.
Huh?
I don't know that he'll be the hero.
Yeah.
He's an anti-hero. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
They're going to make him sympathetic to you is what they're going to do.
He'll be sympathetic. And then you'll feel bad for him and you'll be angry at the Justice League will be the villains.
The Justice Society
in this,
Society, you're right. Yeah. Society with Dr. Fate.
Yeah, he'll mostly be ticked off at Shazam once he realizes where the wizard's power has gone.
Okay.
So this is going to be an interesting movie. He's not completely a hero. He's not completely. There's a good argument for him being a complete villain.
Right.
It's similar, like you said, Magneto. It's the same thing there. He's sympathetic. You can, he's not completely on the good guy's side, but he's there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, natural progression here would be to talk about Shazam: Fury of the Gods.
Okay. Yeah.
It looks
really cool,
really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I love this character. It's not one that I followed before the films, to be completely honest, but I do love Zachary Levi in this role. I think he
does good.
He bulked up for the role, obviously, and now it looks like all the other what are they all called? All the other
family. They used to be called the Marvels.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, they can't call him that anymore.
Yeah,
he used to be
Freddie Marvel, Mary Marvel.
He used to be Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
he was Captain Marvel
so far. So
they're just like the Shazam family or something, I guess.
The Shazats,
But the only actor that I was really familiar with was Adam Brody, which I've been watching him since he was on the OC, which I am not ashamed to admit that I loved that show. I don't care what Rhett will say to me.
He put out a fantastic film last year,
and he did. The Kid Detective was really good, and I'm glad that he's still working. But yeah, it's interesting. So I wouldn't have had Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu pegged to be the villains that you want in a movie. they're well-known people, obviously, but I don't know. I wanted a bigger name there. Not that Helen Mirren isn't a big name, but just more current, more, I don't know, more hip, I guess.
You're also going to have Dr. Savannah in the background.
Yeah, and you got
okay.
Rachel Zegler in there, whatever she is.
Yeah.
Who's Rachel's
names?
Who's Rachel Zegler?
She's the it girl for the new West Side Story. She's
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Calypso is the villain, is that right? Calypso is Helen Mirren.
Yes.
Okay. It's very like Greek mythology. It feels like
I'm sorry. Lucy Liu is Calypso. Helen Mirren is Hespera. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's no Mark Strong. Yeah, Mark Strong's in everything. So I see what you're saying, Rhett.
Dr. Savannah's like
yeah, I think so. Yeah, he was also in Green Lantern too. So you're saying who's the villain in the background that you said?
Savannah will be the Mark Strong.
Yeah,
he'll be in the background. He and Dr. Worm the entire time.
Yeah, the post-credit scene that we got at the end of the first one.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember Dr. Worm.
You don't know quite how they play into this.
Yeah,
but I'd imagine. Hespera's been a bad guy several times before in the comics. This could I saw it. I was down for it. It just looked really, really good. This Black Adam. Yeah,
there was some.
It's gonna be. It looks good. Looks fun.
There were some really good car stunts that they showed from Shazam's set. That I really want to see that in the film.
Yeah,
and I just like the director a lot. David F. Sandberg was a YouTuber who started doing short films and then broke into the industry.
Wow.
Making Lights Out, I guess, or whatever he did.
Okay.
And then worked his way up, did an Annabelle film that's really well reviewed, and then now he's doing big superhero films
too.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that he started on YouTube. That's pretty cool.
Speaking of somebody that went from horror to superhero movies.
Good segue.
So
Aquaman.
you're talking about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Yeah, I was trying to follow. I was tracking with you, and I was like, okay, he's talking about James Wan.
Conjuring.
Yeah, exactly. And Malignant. What a movie. What a movie. So Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, they didn't show much footage because I guess they just started filming.
There's a lot of behind the scenes. And I think they did.
Yeah, it looked all behind the scenes.
It looked like we're getting the majority of the cast back, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Patrick
Wilson.
Yeah, Patrick Wilson. I even think that I saw Dolph Lundgren briefly, or I saw an older looking character but didn't Dolph Lundgren's character die though? I can't remember.
He's listed as back.
Okay, yeah. So I think we did briefly see him in the footage, just very quickly. They showed Dolph Lundgren.
Not as quickly as they showed Amber Heard.
Well, I think he's going to be a big part of the movie, though. I mean, they're not shying away from that.
Warner Brothers really loves Amber Heard.
They do. They really do. They're going to not shy away from that for some reason, when they probably should. But
wouldn't you love to just watch Lisa Bonet have to deal with Amber Heard at where they get all their food?
Yeah, man. But I don't. Yeah, Rhett. I don't know that I'm in love with this version of Aquaman, but it's fine. It is what it is. I think that
I loved the campiness of the first version.
Yeah,
the first
it
movie.
was. Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was fun. It was definitely a lot of world building.
Yeah. I'm really glad that it's been 4 years, apparently, as Jason Momoa liked to say in that. But I'm glad that it's been so long that they just decided to scrap that thing that they were going to do, the horror film about the underwater crevice thing that they were doing with those creatures. They had that greenlit at one point. What'd you say, Stan?
I would have liked to have seen that. That would have been a break from the superhero films, a chance to separate Momoa's Aquaman off, help define him a little more outside of who you are with this Justice League, with these other superheroes and all. James Wan doing that, but I mean, it's
Well, that's true.
It's one of these things we'll never get. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, all these other rumors you hear of this person's bringing their own unique perspective to this character, and it still ends up as Aquaman.
Yeah.
So,
I'm glad Black Manta's back.
Yeah, his suit looks good.
Yep.
that's very nice.
Yeah,
That
a little bit
particular. I said it on a recent Deucecast episode that particular actor I think is a superstar. I mean,
he's the Candyman guy, right?
He was in Candyman, and he was so good in that.
Yeah,
and
Abdul Mateen.
Yeah,
the second or whatever.
He's going to be huge. And I really wish he wasn't, Black Manta, because I think he could be a bigger, more important character later on. But maybe he'll end up.
Stewart.
Black Manta's important to Aquaman.
Well, this is true, but I just mean like he could be some like what Dr. Earl just said, Jon Stewart. That version of Green Lantern. He's That'll big time.
Green Lantern Corps show, but
that we'll talk about in a minute. Yeah, for sure.
Did we get a trailer for that? I missed that.
No. That's going to be in the section of things that they didn't mention at all. The Flash.
May I?
Yes.
You get Jason Momoa, and he's like, "We just started shooting, but I'm psyched. This is going to be great. Get ready now, Aquaman."
I know where you're going.
You get The Rock. God himself placed me on this earth to play Black Adam. Who are you not to come see me play Black Adam? You get all these other people that are all excited.
Levi's super excited about Shazam. Yeah.
Somebody drags Ezra Miller out of his BDSM lunch. And he's like, "Stone, we haven't done anything yet.
We don't really have enough for a teaser or
we don't really have enough."
Yeah, and then they start showing crap. And I was like, my God, you make Shia LaBeouf look competent.
Yeah. I'm just going to say Ezra Miller's my least favorite casting of the DCEU.
Yeah, it is what it is.
In fact, I think
this.
I so much prefer Grant Gustin's Barry Allen to Ezra Miller's.
Yes, I do too.
And Warner Brothers had a chance to kick the guy to the curb.
There's a video of him choking a woman. Just do it.
They didn't take the chance to kick the guy to the curb.
I don't care if there's no context that we don't have. Just do it. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
He's awful.
But if we get rid of him, then we'll have to get rid of Amber Heard and all the bodies in her.
Well,
this is a win-win.
I know,
okay,
right?
Too. That's okay.
They had a chance to get rid of these people.
Queen Mara. We could find another Queen Mara.
So, that being said, everything else about that movie excites me quite a bit. Obviously,
it could be a mess, but it excites me.
Right. We're getting Ben Affleck back as Batman. We're getting Michael Keaton back as Batman.
Yep.
We're getting a new Supergirl, played by this up and comer Sasha Calais. That I'm not jazzed about the casting, but she could be great. I mean, she seemed really sincerely excited about landing the role when they showed that, when they announced her. And so it's exciting. And Andy, I can't pronounce his last name, the director of It.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Look, they've got really good people around Ezra Miller. So
if they could just contain him.
But there are two Ezra Millers in the movie. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, look, Rhett, I 100% agree with you here, but we have to move on. We have to move on behind Helen Slater. Although
she's a little long in the tooth.
They need to give her a cameo at least. If they can give Linda Carter a cameo in Wonder Woman 84, they need to give Helen Slater a cameo.
I think Linda's going to be back in 3, by the way.
I think she is too. Yeah.
Everything we saw about the Flash had nothing to do with the Flash. It had to do with Michael Keaton.
He barely spoke in the thing.
It's Flashpoint. It's more Flashpoint than the Flash.
Yeah.
And here's I'm telling you though, if I was on the Warner Brothers board and I saw him do that, I would be like, "Are we paying him?"
Grief, I know.
Do we have time to let him go?
They got him in 2 franchises: Fantastic Beasts and this.
And this, yeah. They love them some Ezra Miller for whatever reason. But yeah, So explain to me, and without spoilers, what's the deal with the Batman Flash costume?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
This
Is that not a
probably
comic
an
book
evil
thing?
He's probably an evil Barry Allen that murdered his Flash and took that costume, or maybe
Could've.
or maybe his Batman was killed and he took that costume and took it on.
Or
spray
maybe
painted it.
Professor Zoom is just really nutty in this one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
It's not a comic
anything
book
that
thing.
we can easily reference.
Oh, it's not okay.
Yeah.
So it's not a reference to a comic book. Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay,
Now,
well, that's intriguing.
If you talk about Flashpoint, I think Keaton's Batman is probably supposed to serve the role of Thomas Wayne.
Right.
And the Supergirl is supposed to serve the role of the Superman of that universe, who was like really like bone thin because he was being kept by the government in this like cell.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
the whole crux of their reality on Earth was the Amazons warring with Atlantis.
With the Atlanteans. Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody
cool.
else has fallen by the wayside of this war. So
Yep.
I
yeah,
dig
and
that.
All
none
because
we're going to get in the movie.
all because Barry went back to save his mom from being killed by a time
Right.
traveler.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. We'll
Right.
see what happens.
You see him walking in and touching his mother.
Yes, and I think
Yeah.
that's the moment. Yeah.
Ooh, what if they use this to introduce the Wally West version of the Flash and get rid of the Ezra Miller version?
I promise you they won't do that, first off.
Oh.
And secondly, they probably wouldn't even introduce Wally. They'd probably introduce Wallace West II, who's the one they pretty much introduced on the show. So
no,
on the television show. Yeah.
they're asking big gives of the audience quicker than they should on a lot of things. They should just
Interesting.
concentrate. If you want a Flash movie, concentrate on the Flash movie. But we brought in Michael Keaton to hold up the Flash movie.
Yeah.
So,
big time.
Because they
And
don't know what Ezra Miller is going to be able to
And
do.
Affleck, really. I mean,
Yeah.
there's going to be those Snyderverse people are going to freak out with Ben Affleck being in it for like a millisecond.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll be enough to get those people into the theater knowing that Affleck's going to be in it for a second.
Yeah.
now, if we get to Crisis, then we can kill off Barry. Let's go. Have him run around. Turn into a skeleton. Let's go.
Oh gosh.
How did he get? Anyway,
Yeah, I know, dude. I know. It's frustrating.
I mean, I'm intrigued by it, but I don't know.
I think Ezra Miller needs a TED talk.
Look, the dude must have the best agent on the face of the earth. So you know,
You'd have
I
to
don't
for
know.
him to get up and pull crap like that.
I know, right?
You've got the highest paid entertainer in the world, The Rock, shilling for Black Adam.
Big time shilling.
Yeah, on a YouTube.
Because he's passionate about the character,
No,
like
he
for real.
is. He
Yeah.
is. Don't get me wrong.
And he's
Ezra
always
Miller's-
a professional.
And-
Ezra Miller's not the type of guy that's passionate about anything, really.
He knows
I mean,
what he's doing there, and for him to just walk out like,
To answer Red's comment, they did Black Flash, I think, in the CW show. If you want Black Flash that bad in live action, so
oh well, there you go. There you go, Rhett. Yeah. The big one, obviously, was the one that they ended on, the Batman, Matt Reeves Batman.
Yes.
oh, was that a thing? I didn't
Wow.
hear about that.
I mean, that's yeah, I know, right? That trailer, not as good as the first trailer, in my opinion.
You know, I actually agree with you, but keep going.
but look, I have a
I
problem
disagree with that.
with being enticed when you use old grunge music in trailers, and so if you use a Nirvana song in a trailer, I'm automatically gonna love the trailer. That or a Radiohead song, if you use either, I'm there. And this still had some of that in there, but I think that they're trying to be
instrumental.
yeah, it's much more
Yeah.
instrumental. I like the fact that they're being really coy with all of it. I think that that's
Yes.
good. At some point, they're gonna need to reveal a bit more, though.
No, I don't need him to.
Just a little, though.
Mikey,
mean,
they
I
showed a
want to
bunch of
know.
the-
I want to follow the mystery. It's gonna.
Mikey, they showed a bunch of the third act of that trailer.
did they really?
Yes.
I don't
Hey,
know.
Garrison,
I
do you
mean,
know the plot? Did you read the plot somewhere?
okay. Well,
be-
I mean,
Look, he's turning into the Joker right now.
yeah, I know.
Well, that's not in the film, so
If they
Yeah.
if they don't show you anything else, are you not going to go see it?
Oh well, 100%. I was going to go see it before a trailer was even released because it's Matt Reeves. I mean, even with the casting of Robert Pattinson, who I think is a wonderful actor,
Yes,
I had a hard time picturing him as the Batman. But the trailers help that. I think that
He
he's
looks
going
great
to
in
do.
the suit, though.
He looks really good. I think it's going to be phenomenal. Colin Farrell as the Penguin, so good. I mean,
like that better than I did anything else in the trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, sweetheart, you're everything they say you are.
Yeah. Calm down, sweetheart. Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, he
like,
is.
I got you.
Yes,
He's loving it.
yes,
At the end.
it's good.
He's having fun. You can tell.
Tourette's point, which I won't put his chat up because it's not good. But Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman is going to be cool. I think that's as Selena Kyle, right? I mean, I think that's
She's Selena.
That's probably
like
my favorite version of the Catwoman.
I like the piece together Batman suit that we've already seen it a few times, but I like how it doesn't look like something that I think that will be kind of his year 2 suit. I think later on we'll get a more Batman-like suit, a more professional looking. But I also liked how it was like completely bulletproof. Good Lord.
Yes. Like he was taking a lot of ammo.
Sprayed.
Yeah.
You can't really do that with it. Well, anyway, that's fine.
Come on, Earl. Come on, it's a comic
he's
book
Batman.
movie.
Blank shots with these automatic. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, but it's Batman.
So. They don't have hollow tips, so it's not.
That's right. That's right.
Armor piercing.
And this one has nothing to do with any DC continuity.
No.
This is. Although people are talking about, you see those clowns, street gang clowns.
Yeah.
And stuff. There's been, look, this ties into the Joker. No, I don't think the timeline's up. Albert doesn't think the timeline lines up with it either.
It's not lining up with any other film. No, it's its own universe.
Which is good. Just do a Batman story.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like a major detective. It's going to be like a Chinatown story, which I've heard.
Yeah.
Where it's just walking you through this detective mystery.
Yeah.
And And
it's going to be, it's going to be very much like that. Paul Dano, I think, again, a great actor.
Excellent choice for the Riddler.
Very much. And I'm guessing this is the Edward Nygma version of the Riddler, or did they?
Yeah,
it is.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm very much looking to that, like that. Oh yeah, Roth mentions and we were going to mention this later, but we can go ahead and mention it now because they didn't say anything about the Commissioner Gordon show.
Gotham PD. Yeah, I think Jeffrey Wright will be in it, but I think he'll be kind of like a Nick Fury in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you know what I'm saying.
Well, from what I understand, that the show's obviously going to be a prequel, and it's before the Batman has even. Yeah, it's before the Batman has even come in to play at this point.
I heard it's year 1, so they're just hearing about the Batman.
They're just hearing about the Batman. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wish they had mentioned that show, but I guess they just didn't want to take away from the Batman at all. So they're saving that for later, because Matt Reeves is heavily involved in that show from an executive producer standpoint. I don't know if he's is he the showrunner also?
I don't know.
I don't know if he's the showrunner. I think he's just
probably going to pass it off.
He's probably just like name on
executive
the billboard.
Producer.
Yeah. So he gets a paycheck.
There's also
he's a writer. He's writer, director.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's also a Penguin show in development as well.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
If they did it right. Yeah.
If they did it right. If they did Earl hates like villain shows. So
I'm like, look, why do we have to do all these spin-offs with anyway?
Look, I mean, the content is king.
That's my pet peeve.
Look, content is king. You got to tap that vein and shoot up the content, man. I mean, it's they've got to keep it flowing, got to keep it delivered.
I want to see more stories with Batman. I don't want to see.
Well, and we will. I mean, because this movie is going to make $1 gajillion.
Have the villain there, and Batman defeats the villain.
This is gonna have a sequel. This is gonna be a trilogy. I can almost promise you.
Totally.
Did Earl just intimate that out of all of the comic book properties out there, Batman is underrepresented?
Hey, it's something that actually we haven't pointed out.
If only they would do a Batman show.
I sent this to Mikey after I was just thinking about it. I mean, this trailer looks gorgeous. It looks like an expensive film. This is $100 million film. You know how
That's
cheap,
cheap.
that is in terms of a Batman film?
That's
Oh,
very
God,
cheap.
yeah.
Adjusted
Yeah.
for inflation, you would have to go back to Batman 1989 to find a cheaper film.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's in terms of Batman films.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it'll make $100 million probably in its first
Opening weekend. Good
opening
Lord.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now, you have to make a multiplier of that. You have to make 2.5, basically, or 3 to make your
which
budget.
worldwide it'll do that worldwide. I mean,
Yes.
yeah. So I love what's going on in the chat right now.
Well,
Rhett versus
Rhett
Roth.
said the
It's
Batman will
something.
fail.
Well, that's just Rhett.
Well,
he
it could fail and still pull in all the money in the world it needs to justify a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
Batman
which will-
versus Superman did.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's going to fail financially? Dune. That's going to fail financially. But
Possibly.
that's neither here nor there.
I really
have
hope
you
it doesn't.
noticed that Dune pulls a lot from Warhammer 40K.
The Dune
Three
people
in your audience got that joke.
No, there's Dune people that probably heard that somehow, that are freaking out right now and trying to find out where they heard
Really
that.
looks like it ripped off Star Wars to me.
It does.
No.
Man.
They're getting in cars right now and driving to find
I know they're gonna find where we're living and come take us out.
They're drinking spice right now to try to find you.
I'm trying to think of anything we missed on the Batman trailer. I mean, there's a lot that I think that they're still holding
Well,
back.
I think the
as far as-
cinematography looked amazing. There
Yeah,
was that one
it
shot
did.
with him and the Catwoman silhouetted.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
It's
Greg
gonna be-
Fraser is the DP. He did Dune.
Oh.
He did Rogue One.
Oh,
So I mean, he's been around doing big time films and
Yeah.
doing a really good job.
It's
Yeah.
going to be a beautiful, stylish movie. The question is the story and the rest of the
Yeah.
execution. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
doubt that at all. This is very stylized. I'm interested to see what they do. I'd love to see a street level Batman.
Yes.
Yeah, I would
think we
too.
will.
And that's the one thing that they kind of tried to do a little bit with the Affleck Batman. They showed some of that street level stuff very briefly.
That was cool. That fight.
And then he was bouncing off alien lasers with his gauntlets.
I know. It went off the rails, but there was a couple really good fight scenes with the Affleck Batman that I think they'll incorporate because they're obviously going with this unfettered, like disgruntled version of Batman.
And I noticed that it seemed to take some inspiration from the Nolan stuff as trying to be kind of grounded and real, but it's also trying to be a bit more comic booky than Nolan's was as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the walk
Which I
up with the
appreciate.
bullets bouncing off him. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's I think that's needed. I mean, Reeves knows better than to do any direct ripoff of Nolan.
He's not good.
And Reeves to me has not made a bad movie, so I'm kind of ready for this. I think this is going to be.
I know some people will argue "Let Me In," but
well, his I mean, it wasn't obviously as good as the original, but
the right
I mean,
one in.
it was still pretty good. I mean, the original's much better, but his was still pretty good. Just a couple shows that or properties that they didn't mention. We briefly mentioned it earlier. The Green Lantern Corps. It's a rumored show. Well, I think it's almost more than rumored. I think
it's pretty much in pre-production. I mean,
they stated it at the beginning of HBO Max,
and they're creating new characters for it. And it's happening.
So
Strange Adventures. They didn't say anything about Sandman either.
They did.
Did they?
They had a Gwendolyn Christie is playing.
Oh yeah. They did.
Oh, that's right. She's playing
which that's already. I mean, in the can. That's ready to be released on Netflix.
That was all they did. They said Gwendolyn Christie is playing Lucifer. That was like it. Pretty much.
And I think they showed a quick shot of her, and it looked good. I mean,
when you say Strange Adventures, are you talking about Adam Strange?
It was just called Strange Adventures, and they wouldn't give any more information. Now this
I don't remember that.
This was before HBO Max went on the air, and they were touting everything out at us back then, including the Green Lantern Corps, Strange Adventures. They were talking about what they had planned with the Justice Society, which I assume ended up in Black Adam.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. There's a few things on HBO Max that has not yet come to fruition.
I think it's funny that that Warner Brothers pretty much told Zack Snyder he couldn't use Green Lantern for a post-credit scene in his film that was never going to get a sequel to because they're doing this show. They're in development, but they're not going to show us anything.
Right. Yeah, they didn't show anything for that. Didn't show any didn't mention Gotham City PD. We kind of mentioned that already. That's a Jeffrey Wright vehicle, so anything more with him is always good.
It is Supergirl's last year. The WB Supergirl. That is.
Yeah, Melissa.
So let's talk. Let's not go like totally into it, but are they winding this CW verse down at all?
Well,
I don't know. Flash is carrying it and has.
Yeah.
Batwoman's still going, right?
Batwoman is still going, and I know people like season 2 more than season 1. Some people who watch it, but it got lower ratings. So I don't know how they can justify it for if it doesn't pick up.
At the time when Arrow went off the air,
Legends and that 100th episode's coming up. Yep.
That's why is that show still going? I don't understand.
It was fun at first.
It really was. Flash was really good at first, and then it just really started weighing itself down with carrying the rest of the TV shows and everything else.
And the thing that drives me crazy is every season the main bad guy always has to be a speedster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
we found
someone else.
We did find the one Legends of Tomorrow fan in Roth. He says it's such a great show. So I mean,
the Flash,
to be honest, I haven't watched one episode.
Gallery. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you're right about that.
I like the first season of Legends of Tomorrow, but they took away Rip Hunter or whatever and after that I was kind of like where's all the guys they had anyway.
Well, didn't they get rid of Brandon Routh also? Or is he still there as the Atom?
I don't know.
I thought they got rid of him.
He'll be there.
Jacob,
I don't think he's on there anymore.
They canceled the idea of an Arrow spinoff. So that's what made me wonder if they're trying to find an end game with these CW shows so people will more focus on HBO Max.
I think most of those questions, like when will CW end, the DC shows, and when will this end, what's going on with Green Lantern Corps and all the other stuff, I think all those questions are purposefully going to have to wait until after Discovery.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Slow merger.
The slow merger.
Figure out what they're going to keep. Are they going to keep CW? It's not whether or not the DC shows are on CW. Does CW serve a purpose?
Is Superman and Lois? Is that a CW show?
Really good. Yes.
Yeah, but it's also immediately put on HBO Max, is it not?
Yeah.
So that's something they could shift immediately.
And Stargirl,
if they want.
Now Stargirl is not immediately put on HBO Max though. After the season,
CW.
So it's CW. After the season's over, they will put it on HBO Max, but it's not immediate. And I'm watching Stargirl, and I kind of like it. I mean, it's not half bad.
The few episodes I've seen, Batwoman, they're putting a lot of effort into something that every other company would have said, and that doesn't. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Well, after your lead actress quits, I mean, you just typically would fold it up.
So, the really glaring omission that I thought was the most egregious is not to even tease where in production either of the Superman rumored movies are.
You've
got
Jordan.
Well, you've got the J.J. Abrams Ta-Nehisi Coates thing, which
JJ
I don't
was
even
on the screen for a little bit, but it was about the Batman show.
I don't even know if that's even still happening because they have this Michael B. Jordan thing also. Two separate Superman projects.
Well, one's theatrical, one's HBO Max.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. Oh, that's right. Michael B. Jordan's is HBO Max. Yeah.
You're likely to hear more about the HBO Max Michael B. Jordan version than you are the movie. The movie, I don't think until Discovery takes over. There's a lot of things that went right up to that borderline.
I think Discovery's going to make some changes.
Yeah. Everything we heard about was stuff we already knew.
It would be complete leaving money on the table if they didn't bring Henry Cavill back. They would be leaving so much money on the table if they didn't bring him back.
I'm okay with how much money they leave on the table. He does not need to be wearing that S.
Oh, I love him. Oh, I think he's so good. I think he's great.
He needs a better Clark, but
well, yeah. I don't know what it is.
Ralph.
Yeah, Brandon Routh was fun, but I mean,
I'm not. Yeah, he did a wonderful homage to Christopher Reeve.
All right, well,
movie.
okay, Stan, fan cast Superman then. Who would you even put in that role?
Oh, I know who. To Kill a Mockingbird. He's dead.
No,
Gregory Peck?
Current
Gregory Peck, yeah.
Gregory Peck. What are you on drugs?
I'm dead serious.
Well,
what the crap?
That's the 1930s Superman. That's the
Greg Peck.
Yeah,
1930s Superman, the one that doesn't fly, guys.
Yeah,
exactly. I know, right? You might as well have said Christopher Reeve. I mean, exactly.
Okay, no, that's it. I don't know of anybody out there, but we never do. We didn't know of Christopher Reeve before he got it.
Well, this is true, but I think Henry Cavill has done really good with what he's been given, which isn't much. And I think that he's done the best that he possibly can with that role. And so I would love to see, and I'm hoping that somebody at Discovery loved him enough to bring him back for an actual sequel to The Man of Steel, which we still have not gotten an actual sequel to the original film. But
I like the guy who does the it's not Superboy. What is he on Titans? Like, I think he looks very Superman-esque. He plays
he is.
What are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about Superboy?
Well, yeah, is that the one on Titans?
Yeah, it's Superboy's on Titans.
He's a Superboy, but he's like half Lex Luthor and half.
That's the character's name. Superboy. Yeah, that's the character's name. I don't know the actor's name.
That was your comic book Superboy from the time they killed Superman.
Yep.
All the way up to New 52.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think he's doing a good job. I don't know if he would cross over to be the Superman, but.
Yep.
Tyler Hoechlin is. I would agree he's not the answer.
He's okay in that Superman, and I don't know. Bring back Dean Cain. No, I'm just kidding.
Bring back who?
Dean Cain. He's not.
Bring back George Reeves.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we've gone over an hour. Was there anything at all that we missed that they didn't talk about? That had been like greenlit. I mean, we mentioned Blue Beetle very briefly, and we mentioned Batgirl very briefly. We know those are two HBO Max films that are coming. Yep. I like this idea of having some of the smaller characters do movies on HBO Max. Yeah,
and we know that. Good Lord, J. Jonah Jameson, J.K. Simmons is going to be in Batgirl, playing Commissioner Gordon. So there's connections to the original DCEU there as well. So.
Yeah, and they did that thing where the real Batman will be in Batgirl.
Yeah,
and I mean, by the time we get to 2025, is anybody going to care?
We've got 50 Batman.
If it's Affleck,
30 Jokers.
If they want to just tease those Snyderverse people just a little bit and keep them on that string, you put Affleck in that thing.
They don't need to. The Snyderverse people, they just need to give up all hope.
They never will, man. They never will. No. Look, there's parts of me that I'm like I said, I want Cavill back. There's parts of me that like that version of the universe. But we'll see what happens. All right, we've gone over an hour talking about DC Fandome. So, just some, I don't know what to call it, but I think we are going to take a week off in preparation because we really don't have, any TV show that we're covering right now, and there's no DC Fandome to talk about again. So we are going to take a week off, but then we are going to come back and do a spoiler-free, as much as we possibly can, conversation about the Eternals. We'll see. And so Stan, I wouldn't mind you coming back on that if you've got the time. In a couple weeks. Well,
I'm clearly. Let me check my schedule here.
Well, I mean, the thing that as far as your expertise, I want to hear, like, once we finally see this thing, do we think it's more Kirby, or do we think it's the newer version that's in the current run? I just would love to hear your perspective on some of that.
We do need
I don't know that much about these characters, so that's kind of why I want to bring you back on in a couple weeks. But yeah, we'll take a week off because we don't have anything else to talk about, and we'll be back in a couple weeks after everybody has seen Eternals and. Poor Rhett. Look at this. This is
Rhett's ready to go. Bring him in.
Look at poor Rhett.
Yeah, Roth. The actor's name is out there, and his character's name's out there. But Mikey has not heard his character's name.
Yeah, so do not spoil the character name. I was spoiled by Google News Alert on the actor.
Is it Thanos? I just want to hear Salma Hayek. Thanos has destroyed.
Thanos has destroyed.
Thanos.
It is not Thanos.
No, it's not. It's unfortunate. Dr. Earl is off the grid. Occasionally, you can find him on the Deucecast Discord, hanging out in his pretentious corner. It's been a minute since he's visited the pretentious corner.
I haven't seen any pretentious movies.
Man, you need to rectify that.
That's going to change soon. I mean, it was The Last Duel not pretentious?
That's pretty pretentious.
I could bring that one to the pretentious corner.
You could bring some Last Duel to the pretentious corner.
I love The Last Duel, yeah.
Man, I was very into that movie. Garrison, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at SUPASH3. You can find me on Letterboxd at GRyfin. You can find me on the Deucecast Discord at as GRyfin3. I comment on there occasionally, and that's about it.
Awesome. And Stan, my friend, tell us about your podcast.
Kingdom Casts, CASTS podcast. Comic book discussion, fandom discussion of the things going on, except we're not nearly as good as these guys are with spoiler alerts.
Well, that's maybe with spoiler alerts. You're right.
Yeah,
about that.
You better be well informed before you turn us on. Because I don't know what any of you know. How could I?
That's true. That's true.
So Kingdom Casts on Facebook, Instagram, Kingdom Comics on Facebook, Kingdom Casts and Kingdom Comics at Gmail.
Awesome. Thanks so much again for coming on, Stan.
My pleasure.
Yep. And we will, like I said, be back in a couple weeks. As always with these YouTube things, please share this episode with your friends, like, subscribe, mash the bell, all the things that the kids say. And until, I guess, the week after Eternals, this has been the Deucecast Extra, and we will see you on the flip side, everybody. Thanks for hanging out, as always.
Oh, that